Listen closely, because what I'm about to share with you can draw the line between the life you've known and the life you were always meant to live. For 25 years, I dedicated myself to studying the minds of over 500 of the most successful men in America, searching for the one principle that linked them all together. And what I discovered was something profound, something so deceptively simple, yet so powerful. It has remained hidden in plain sight, overlooked by the masses stuck in a cycle of poverty, failure, and hopelessness. These men, Carnegie, Ford, Edison, Rockefeller, each had a morning ritual, a sacred habit that aligned their minds with success before their feet even touched the floor. You see, each day you wake up with the same anxious thoughts, the same financial worries, the same self-doubts. From the moment you rise, your mind is already in retreat, held hostage by the limitations of yesterday. This is what I call a poverty of the mind, and it affects 98% of people. It's the silent trap that keeps them stuck in lives of quiet frustration. But right now, as you hear my voice, that chain can be shattered forever. Let me ask you this. What if I told you the first 5 minutes after you open your eyes, decide whether you'll rise or fall that day? What if I revealed that every fortune built, every incredible breakthrough, every leap forward in human achievement didn't start in a boardroom or factory floor, but in the quiet stillness of morning, when a committed mind declared a truth with absolute belief? You see, the human mind is both a transmitter and a receiver. When you speak with genuine faith and deep feeling, you send a command to your subconscious, your direct line to infinite intelligence. This isn't theory. This is proven fact, confirmed through decades of careful study. Your subconscious doesn't argue, it doesn't reason. It simply receives what you tell it with emotion and begins working immediately to bring it into reality. Andrew Carnegie understood this. Before the sun even rose, he would stand at his window and declare his intentions for the day with such force that those who met him could feel his conviction. Thomas Edison knew this as well. In the silence of his lab, before even touching an invention, he would affirm his connection to the limitless source of all ideas. Rockefeller, Ford, Schwab, they didn't start their day with the news or idle conversation. They began with deliberate, intentional words spoken aloud, designed to shape their destiny. And you've let your mind drift untrained. Like a wild horse, it's been pulling you through fear, through doubt, wherever it pleases. But the 11 phrases I'm about to give you, these are your reins, your bridle and bit, the tools to take command of your thoughts and through them your life. These are not vague affirmations or hollow optimism. These are the concentrated truths of success philosophy, distilled directly from the practices of the men who built empires, rewrote industries, and carved their names into history. Each phrase is a key, unlocking a new door in your subconscious. Together they form a master key that grants you access to the vault of limitless potential. Only 2 things are required. First, that you speak these phrases every morning without exception. Second, that you speak them with absolute belief and blazing emotion. Words alone are lifeless, but words fused with belief, that combination unleashes power that will reshape your reality. Get ready, because what you're about to learn is the ritual that separates life's masters from its victims. And it begins with this: I am the master of my fate. Let these 6 words brand themselves into your soul. They hold the power to lift you from the depths and carry you to the summit. I once knew a man who had lost everything, his business, his savings, even his belief in himself. He sat in my office with tears in his eyes, convinced the world was against him. I gave him only these 6 words and told him to repeat them each morning with all the strength he had left. 6 months later, he came back. Not only had he recovered, but he had doubled his fortune. Most people see themselves as leaves in the wind, tossed around by circumstances. They blame the government, the economy, their upbringing, anything but the one person with all the power themselves. But I tell you now, backed by the insights of history's greatest minds, you are not the victim of fate, you are its author. Every condition in your life today is the harvest of thoughts you planted yesterday. When William Ernest Henley wrote, "I am the master of my fate, I am the captain of my soul," he wasn't writing poetry, he was declaring a universal law as real and unbreakable as gravity. Your thoughts shape your circumstances. Your dominant mental attitude determines whether you rise or fall, whether you attract success or failure, abundance or lack. This isn't fantasy. This is a law of the universe executed with mathematical precision. Look at Charles M. Schwab. He began as a laborer in Carnegie steel mills, making just $1 a day. But each morning, he'd look into a mirror and state, without a shred of doubt, that he would one day run those mills. He didn't hope. He didn't beg. He commanded his subconscious to believe. The result? He became president of U.S. Steel, earning over $1 million a year at a time when such wealth was unheard of. Henry Ford faced open ridicule when he set out to build a car for the common man. Experts mocked him. Analysts predicted financial ruin, but Ford knew something they didn't. He was the master of his fate, and every morning he reminded himself of that truth. When failure struck, and it struck often, he didn't break. He reaffirmed his belief, knowing that fate wasn't something handed to him. It was something he was actively creating, moment by moment. Your subconscious is like fertile soil. It will grow whatever you plant in it. Declare, I am the master of my fate, with deep conviction, and you sow seeds of strength, vision, and boundless potential, but it must be done with feeling. Stand before your mirror each morning, look yourself in the eyes, and speak those words like your life depends on it, because it does. Feel the surge of power. Feel the weight of limitation break. Feel yourself reclaiming control of your destiny. The law of attraction flows through your subconscious. When you truly believe you're the master of your fate, your mind begins to attract people, opportunities, and events that match that belief. You stop pushing success away through thoughts of fear and start drawing it to you through thoughts of strength. This isn't magic. This is the deliberate use of mental law, proven again and again by those who rose from nothing to greatness. My definite chief aim guides my every action. These 8 words are where all achievement begins. Without a definite aim, you're a ship with no rudder, left adrift wherever the winds of life may blow. But with a clear, burning purpose fixed in your mind, you become like a guided missile locked in, moving with unstoppable force toward your target. Before Andrew Carnegie taught me the power of definiteness, I wandered through years of frustration and failure. He told me 98 out of 100 people fail, not because they lack talent, but because they never decide exactly what they want. They have vague desires, scattered wishes, but no clear goal. Look at Edwin C. Barnes, a man with no money, no education, no special advantage, but he had one thing, a definite chief aim, to become a business partner with Thomas Edison. He didn't say he wanted to work for Edison. He declared that he would become his partner. Each morning, alone in his tiny room, Barnes would declare his intention. When he finally reached Edison, dressed like a tramp, Edison saw something others couldn't, the fire of definite purpose burning in his eyes. Years later, Barnes became Edison's partner in the dictation machine business, living proof of what definite aim can do. Your definite chief aim is not a dream. It's a command to your subconscious. When spoken each morning with full conviction, it unleashes inner forces that begin crafting that reality around you. John D. Rockefeller knew, at 23, that he would become the world's leading oil refiner. He spoke it. He lived it. Every step he took was aligned with that purpose. The result, Standard Oil, and a fortune beyond comprehension. The principle is simple: concentration of effort. Focused thought, directed by a definite purpose, creates focused power. Your subconscious works day and night to manifest what you feed it, but only if it has clear instructions. Each morning, speak your chief aim as though it's already complete. Feel the pride, the joy, the fulfillment. Your subconscious can't distinguish between real and vividly imagined experience. Feed it the picture. Give it the vision. This is the great secret. Know exactly what you want and hold that image unwavering until it becomes your reality. I possess within me all the power I need. Let those words settle in. You've been trained to believe in limits, to think success comes from somewhere outside of you. But I tell you this with certainty: everything you need is already within your mind. Thomas Edison had 3 months of formal education. By every standard, he should have remained in obscurity. But Edison understood a truth his educated critics didn't. He had access to infinite intelligence. Whenever he hit a wall, he would sit alone in a dark room and affirm his connection to that higher source. Ideas would flood in. Solutions would appear. Inventions would take form. His thousands of patents are a monument to that inner power. The average person uses less than 10% of their potential. Let that sink in. You're running at a fraction of your capacity, and you wonder why success feels out of reach. But the power is there, ready to be activated, ready to be directed, ready to be released. George Washington Carver proved this in a way no one could deny. Born into slavery, with no formal education, he became one of the most brilliant scientists of his generation. Asked how he discovered hundreds of uses for the peanut, he simply said, "I went into my laboratory and asked the Creator what the peanut was for. Then I waited for the answer." Your subconscious is connected directly to infinite intelligence, the source of all ideas, all solutions, all power, but doubt severs the link. So each morning, when you declare that you possess within you all the power you need, you're removing the block. You're stepping into your true power. You activate the channel through which infinite wisdom and ability can flow. This is not speculation. This is a truth proven by every great achiever throughout history. Self-doubt is the silent destroyer of potential. From a young age, you've been conditioned to focus on your limitations instead of your capabilities. You've been reminded so often of what you can't do that you've lost sight of what you can. But Carnegie spoke the truth when he said a man is only bound by the limits of his own thinking. The walls you believe confine you are made not of concrete but of thought. Change those thoughts and the walls vanish. Each morning, as you declare this affirmation, feel the power of infinite energy flowing through you. You are not separate from the source of creation. You are a living expression of it. The same force that rotates the planets, that turns seeds into forests, that transforms a caterpillar into a butterfly. It moves through your very mind. Your only responsibility is to acknowledge it, receive it, and focus it toward your clear purpose. When you combine this awareness with unwavering belief and effort, extraordinary things become routine. What once seemed impossible becomes unavoidable, and you'll come to realize the power to shape your life was always within you. Today I will exceed expectations in everything I do. This simple principle has produced more millionaires than nearly any other. So basic it's often ignored, so effective that those who apply it rarely fail. Yet most people do only the minimum, just enough to get by, just what's required. Then they wonder why progress eludes them. Andrew Carnegie once asked Charles M. Schwab to take over a struggling steel plant. Many managers had failed before him. Schwab agreed on one condition, that he be allowed to do things his way. His way was simple. He chose to go the extra mile. He worked not 8 hours, but 12, not for more pay, but out of personal commitment to give more than was expected. He insisted his team do the same. Within a year, that failing plant became the top producing mill in the entire company. His reward, a $1 million bonus for a single year's work, at a time when $1,000 was considered a fortune. This wasn't generosity. This was the law of increase in action. When you give beyond expectation, you receive more than you gave, not emotionally, mathematically. The farmer who nurtures his land yields a richer harvest. The merchant who adds value earns lifelong customers. The worker who does more than required is naturally elevated to higher roles. But most people approach life asking, what's the least I can do and still keep my job? They count the minutes, resist extra effort, and complain about their pay. These are the individuals who remain stuck, discontent, and blaming others, never realizing they are the architects of their own stagnation. They violate the principle of growth and then wonder why success evades them. Going the extra mile isn't about burning yourself out. It's about showing up with energy, excellence, and intention. It's about finding ways to deliver more value, refine your abilities, and serve wherever you are. When you live by this standard, you rise above the ordinary like a light in the dark. Opportunities begin to chase you. Advancement becomes a certainty. Success is no longer a question of if, but when. Carnegie built his empire on this very principle. He advanced only those who lived by it. He didn't reward what was done. He rewarded those willing to go beyond what they were paid for. Every successful person in his organization ascended because of one habit, consistent extra effort. This wasn't favoritism. It was recognition of a universal truth. Each morning, when you commit to exceeding expectations, you train your mind to search for ways to add more. Your subconscious begins to generate ideas for contribution. You develop a reputation for over-delivering, and that reputation becomes your greatest asset. It's worth more than money because it guarantees you will never lack for doors to open. I attract abundance by serving others. This statement permanently dissolves the myth that success requires exploiting people. Without exception, every lasting fortune has been built through service. The scale of your reward will always match the depth and quality of service you provide. Henry Ford became one of history's wealthiest men, not through manipulation, but by serving. His focus wasn't greed, it was to bring affordable vehicles to everyday people. He transformed manufacturing, not for gain, but to cut costs so the average family could own a car. His wealth followed as a natural result of the value he provided. He often said, a business that only makes money is a poor kind of business. Money is simply a reflection of value. It flows to those who give and away from those who only take. This is the law of compensation in motion, as consistent as gravity. You cannot bypass it without consequences. Those who chase wealth without giving value eventually fall. But those who focus on contribution always rise. Take Frank W. Woolworth. While others ignored customers with limited means, Woolworth saw opportunity. He created stores where people with only a few coins could shop with dignity and buy quality items. That vision made him one of the wealthiest men in America. J.P. Morgan built his empire not through deceit, but through structure. He recognized that American industries needed organization to thrive. He brought railroads, steel, and banks under coordinated control for the benefit of investors and the public. His compensation was a byproduct of his service. When you affirm daily that wealth flows to you through service, you bring your mind in line with a timeless law. You begin to attract moments to contribute. You develop what I call a service mindset, always looking for ways to help, improve, add value. This mindset is magnetic. It draws people. It opens locked doors. It creates options where none seemed possible. The selfish repel success because they ignore the law of exchange. They try to receive without giving, to harvest without planting, to withdraw with no deposit. But the person devoted to service draws prosperity because they understand giving comes first. Sowing precedes reaping. Deposits come before withdrawals. This isn't just a business rule, it's how the universe operates. Work with it and success becomes inevitable. I turn every failure into a stepping stone. This truth will release you from the fear of failure that limits most people. Every setback, every disappointment, every painful loss contains within it the seed of equal or greater benefit. This isn't false comfort, it's reality proven by every lasting success story. Abraham Lincoln failed repeatedly at business, in politics, and in personal life. He endured loss, rejection, and breakdowns. Yet every defeat was preparation. Every low point shaped the leader who would one day save a nation. Thomas Edison was told he lacked intelligence. He was fired more than once for being unproductive. He failed thousands of times creating the light bulb. But he never saw failure as the end. He saw each attempt as progress. His setbacks led directly to his success. R.U. Darby found gold, lost it, and quit, just 3 feet from fortune. The next owner struck millions. But Darby learned. He applied that lesson to his new career and became a top insurance producer through sheer persistence. Most people take failure as a finish line. They interpret obstacles as proof to quit. But I'm telling you, there is no permanent failure unless you choose it. Every failure is temporary. Every fall is an education. Every difficulty is preparation for triumph, but only for those who continue forward. Your subconscious mind can turn any experience into strength. When you affirm that failure becomes your stepping stone, you train your mind to extract value from hardship. You develop failure resilience, the power to rebound, learn, and grow. Nature demands resistance to build strength. The tree that weathers the storm grows the deepest roots. The muscle that resists grows the most powerful. The person who outlasts failure builds the greatest capacity for success. When you live by this, fear of failure loses its grip. You begin to welcome it, not as defeat, but as a mentor, a trainer, a stepping stone on your way to victory. I build success with patience and persistence. In a world of instant results, this truth is more vital than ever. All lasting success is crafted over time, layer by layer, step by step. There are no quick fixes, no shortcuts, no overnight transformations. Success is construction, and construction takes time. James J. Hill spent 20 years building his railroad empire. He endured hardship, setbacks, ridicule, and near ruin, but he kept laying track, 1 mile at a time, one challenge at a time, one day at a time. His patience built one of the most powerful railway systems in history, and his legacy outlasted those who mocked him. The principle of compounding applies not only to wealth, but to character. Each small effort adds to the foundation. Each lesson strengthens the framework. Each day of persistence brings you closer. The early gains are invisible, which is why most give up. But if you keep building, keep showing up, the breakthrough comes, and it will be more powerful, more permanent, and more rewarding than anything rushed or temporary could ever provide. Those who persevere eventually reach a turning point where all their effort culminates in sudden remarkable success. Marshall Field grasped this truth well. After the Great Chicago Fire razed his store, he faced a choice: give up or rebuild. Many would have seen defeat, but Field viewed the disaster as a fresh chance to create something greater. With steady patience and relentless determination, he rebuilt, not just a store, but a retail empire that carried his name for over 100 years. He often said the key to success is doing ordinary things in an extraordinary way. This demands patience to master every detail and persistence to uphold excellence. Impatience destroys potential. It causes people to quit just before their breakthrough arrives. It leads to hasty decisions, careless actions, and failure. The impatient are like farmers who plant seeds, then dig them up daily to check if they've sprouted. The patient understand there's a time to sow and a time to reap, and one cannot be rushed into the other. Persistence is the engine that drives all other qualities. Without it, talent is wasted. Education means little, and opportunities slip away. But with persistence, even modest ability can yield amazing results. Calvin Coolidge captured it perfectly. Nothing in the world can take the place of persistence. Talent won't. Nothing is more common than unsuccessful men with talent. Genius won't. Unrewarded genius is almost a proverb. Education won't. The world is full of educated derelicts. Persistence and determination alone are omnipotent. Every morning, when you affirm that you build your success through patience and persistence, you condition your mind for the long haul. You shield yourself from the trap of instant gratification. You align yourself with nature's laws of growth. You join those who know success is a marathon, not a sprint. It's not a single event, but a process, not a destination, but a journey that requires patience to endure the distance and persistence to keep moving forward, no matter the obstacles. Your mind is like a garden. It grows whatever seeds you plant. If you let doubt, fear, and limitation take root, that's what you will harvest. But if you close your mind to negativity and plant seeds of faith, confidence, and possibility, you cultivate a garden of success. Many will tell you what you cannot do. They failed, so they believe you will too. They gave up and expect you to do the same. They accepted limits and want to impose them on you. Guglielmo Marconi faced this when he proposed wireless communication. Friends thought him insane and tried to have him committed. Yet Marconi shut out their negativity, kept experimenting, and today the world communicates wirelessly because of him. Henry Ford faced relentless doubt. Engineers said it was impossible. Financiers warned of bankruptcy. Even his own father discouraged him. But Ford developed the mental discipline to block out all voices except the one inside that said, "It can be done." He refused to let others' fears poison his mind. The result wasn't just the Model T. It was an entire industry that changed the world. Negative thoughts spread like disease, infecting anyone who listens. When you surround yourself with negativity, your faith weakens. Your dreams fade. That's why you must guard your mind as fiercely as your home. Mental substitution is your weapon. You can't only resist negative thoughts, you must replace them with positive ones. When doubt creeps in, fill your mind with faith. When fear knocks, answer with courage. This isn't denial, it's choosing to focus on what empowers you rather than weakens you. Your subconscious accepts whatever dominates your thoughts. It does not judge truth or falsehood, helpfulness or harm. That's why you must be vigilant, examining every influence and allowing only what supports your definite purpose. Each morning, when you declare your mind closed to negativity, you activate your mental immune system, creating a protective shield around your consciousness. You join those who understand. We become what we think about, so we must think only about what we want to become. This is not optional, it's essential. Those dominated by negativity are defeated before they start. I give thanks for today and its opportunities. Gratitude isn't just a pleasant feeling, it's a magnetic force attracting more of what you appreciate. It's a universal law as real as gravity. What you focus on with feeling grows. Focus on lack and you get more lack. Focus on abundance, and abundance increases. Gratitude shifts your focus from what's missing to what's present. John D. Rockefeller began every day with thanksgiving, even as a struggling bookkeeper earning less than $1 daily. He gave thanks for his health, his job, and chances to grow. This grateful attitude drew people and opportunities that helped him build Standard Oil. He often said his success wasn't from financial genius, but from appreciating what he had while striving for more. This principle works in every part of life. What you appreciate, appreciates. Giving thanks for your blessings, however small, creates a mental atmosphere that draws greater blessings. This isn't wishful thinking. It's a practical mental law. Your subconscious notices and attracts more of whatever you emotionally focus on. Consider the alternative. Those who complain attract more reasons to complain. Critics find more to criticize. Problem-focused people discover more problems. They create a downward spiral of negativity that fulfills itself. They prove life is hard by making it harder with their mindset. Andrew Carnegie understood this deeply. Though he started as a bobbin boy in a cotton mill, he kept a spirit of gratitude that drew helpful people to him throughout his life.
He thanked every teacher, every chance to improve, every lesson learned from failure. This gratitude created a positive environment that attracted the men who helped him build his steel empire. When you speak this affirmation with sincerity each morning, you unleash one of the universe's most powerful forces. Your subconscious begins scanning your surroundings for opportunities you might otherwise miss. You develop what I call opportunity consciousness, the ability to see and seize possibilities every day. Those opportunities were always there, but gratitude opened your eyes to them. The ungrateful live in self-made prisons, blind to blessings, opportunities, and abundance they can't access. The grateful live in an ever-expanding universe of possibility. Every appreciation leads to more to appreciate. Every opportunity recognized brings more opportunities. Every blessing acknowledged attracts more blessings. This is the upward spiral of success, beginning with the simple but powerful act of giving thanks. I act with decision and courage. Indecision and procrastination have killed more chances than anything else. While you hesitate, life moves on. Others act while you wait for perfect conditions. Those who act despite imperfect conditions claim the prizes you desire. Successful people share one trait. They decide quickly and change decisions slowly. Napoleon Bonaparte credited his military genius to this: "I make decisions 2 hours before my generals think it necessary." This gave him the initiative. While enemies debated, he was already acting. While they reacted, he was planning the next move. The universe rewards action and punishes hesitation. This law is as unchanging as gravity. Act, even imperfectly, and you create momentum, feedback, and adjustment. Hesitate, and you produce only stagnation and regret. Hernan Cortés knew this when he landed in Mexico with 600 men to conquer millions. His first move was to burn his ships. No retreat, no second thoughts, no hesitation. This forced ordinary men into conquerors who had to win or die. Fear breeds indecision. You hesitate because you fear mistakes. Here's the truth that sets you free. There are no wrong choices, only lessons. Every decision, even those leading to setbacks, teaches valuable experience. The only truly wrong choice is making no choice. Those who decide and act, even if mistaken, are far better off than those stuck in indecision. Theodore Roosevelt built his life on decisive action. Do what you can with what you have where you are. He didn't wait for perfect conditions or risk-free moments. He acted with available resources, learned from results, and adapted. This decisiveness carried him from a sickly child to President of the United States. Courage isn't the absence of fear. It's acting despite fear. Everyone who achieves anything has felt fear. The difference is they act anyway. They know courage is like a muscle that grows with use. Each action despite fear strengthens courage for the next challenge. Each decisive act makes the next easier. When you affirm each morning that you act with decision and courage, you train your mind for action, not hesitation. You prime yourself to spot opportunities and seize them before they vanish. You join the doers, not the talkers, the leaders, not the followers, the decisive, not the doubtful. You align with the force that moves the world forward and rewards those brave enough to lead. I am becoming the person I was meant to be. This final affirmation ties all others together. Success isn't just about reaching external goals. It's about fulfilling your highest potential. Everyone enters this world with unique gifts and talents meant to be developed and expressed. Your true purpose is to become the fullest expression of who you can be. Booker T. Washington was born into slavery but refused to let his circumstances define him. He knew greatness lived within him regardless of external conditions. Each day he worked not just on outward success but on self-development. He educated himself, refined his character, expanded his abilities. He became one of the greatest educators and leaders, not because of favorable circumstances, but because he committed to becoming who he was meant to be. Growth is the fundamental principle of life. You either grow or decay. There is no standing still. When you stop learning, improving, developing, you start to decline. But when you commit to constant growth, you align with the universe's creative force. You are a limitless expression of human potential. Benjamin Franklin grasped this truth better than most. He devised a system of 13 virtues, dedicating himself to refining one each week. Daily, he reviewed his progress, honestly confronting his shortcomings and committing to improvement. This relentless pursuit of self-growth transformed him from a mere printer's apprentice into one of history's greatest figures, an inventor, diplomat, philosopher, scientist, and founding father. True transformation comes from small, consistent improvements over time. Becoming the person you are destined to be is not the result of a single grand gesture, but thousands of tiny steps towards self-mastery. Every book you read, every skill you acquire, every weakness you conquer, and every strength you build propels your evolution. The person you are today is the sum of all your past actions. The person you will become tomorrow is being shaped by what you choose to do now. This idea aligns your conscious and subconscious minds toward continuous growth. By affirming each morning that you are becoming the person you were meant to be, you awaken what I call the law of becoming. Your subconscious starts guiding you toward growth. You attract mentors, books, and experiences that support your development. You begin to make decisions that nurture progress rather than stagnation. Too many settle for far less than their true potential, letting circumstances dictate their growth. They accept limits others impose. They stop growing after school, stop learning after landing a job, and settle into comfort, dying long before their time, spending decades as mere shadows of who they could have been. But inside you lies something far greater than mediocrity. Genius waits to be unleashed. Greatness longs to shine. Potential stands ready to be realized. The same vital force that fuels every miracle in nature flows through your veins. Your task is to work with this force, removing fear, doubt, and limiting beliefs that block its full expression.
When you declare this affirmation with deep feeling, you make a solemn promise to your own evolution. You vow not to settle, to refuse complacency, and to pursue your highest potential. You join those who understand that life is a continuous journey of becoming, where the true joy lies not in some final achievement, but in the unfolding of your limitless capabilities. You align yourself with the creative force that brought you into being and pledge to honor it by becoming all you were designed to be. Now I want to share with you a sacred ritual that will transform these 11 powerful phrases from mere words into dynamic forces in your life. This is no casual routine to be rushed through. It demands your full attention and commitment. Wake each morning at least 30 minutes before your day begins. This time is non-negotiable. If you won't invest half an hour in your transformation, you are not serious about success. Great men who built lasting fortunes understood this deeply. They never started their day without mental preparation, just as a warrior never enters battle without his weapons. Find a quiet place free from interruption. This is vital. Your subconscious requires focused concentration to absorb new programming. Distractions break the connection and weaken the impact. Close the door if needed. Inform your household that this time is sacred. Guard it as your most precious treasure, because it is. Stand before a mirror and look yourself squarely in the eyes. The eyes are the windows to the soul. Speaking your affirmations while maintaining eye contact creates a powerful loop between your conscious and subconscious minds. Many find this uncomfortable at first. It's rare to truly look oneself in the eye. Push through any discomfort. This direct dialogue is essential for change. Speak each phrase aloud with full emotion and conviction. Words without feeling are lifeless. Your subconscious responds not to the words alone, but to the emotional energy behind them. When you say, "I am the master of my fate," feel that truth surge through your being. When you declare, "My definite chief aim guides my every action," envision your goal already realized and feel the joy of success. This emotional intensity embeds the message deep within your subconscious, where it can grow and flourish. Repeat each phrase 3 times before moving on. The first time states the idea. The second, with more feeling, deepens the impression, and the third, with unwavering conviction, seals it as fact. This repeated emotional reinforcement forges neural pathways that turn thought into habit, habit into character, and character into destiny. After completing all 11 phrases, remain silent for 5 minutes. This quiet time lets your subconscious absorb and begin to process your declarations. Don't think about problems or plans. Simply stay open and expectant, knowing the seeds you've planted are already germinating in your mind's fertile soil. Transformation won't be instant. Your subconscious carries years of old, negative conditioning. It takes at least 30 days of consistent practice to build new mental patterns. Skip a day in this crucial period, and you must start over. This isn't punishment, just how the mind works. Consistency is key to rewiring your brain. After 30 days, this ritual feels natural. After 60 days, you'll notice shifts in your thoughts and actions. After 90 days, others will see the changes in you. After 6 months, you will be fundamentally different, not in who you are at the core, but in how you express yourself. You will become someone who instinctively thinks and acts in harmony with success. Many have shared stories of this ritual's power. A struggling salesman rising to top producer, a laborer inventing his way to wealth, a timid clerk transforming into a confident leader. These aren't miracles. They are the natural outcome of aligning your mind with the laws of success. Don't dismiss this as too simple. The greatest truths often are. The problem isn't understanding, but applying. Knowledge without action is useless. The world is full of educated failures who know what to do but never do it. Don't be one of them. Start tomorrow. Set your alarm 30 minutes earlier. Prepare your quiet space tonight. Write out the 11 phrases if needed until you know them by heart. Your whole life has led you to this moment of choice. Will you continue hoping for change without effort? Or will you take control of your mind and create the change you desire? The choice is yours. But remember, if you don't program your own mind, others will do it for you, and their plans won't serve your best interests. They won't plan much for you. I leave you with this. You now hold the morning ritual that has elevated ordinary men to extraordinary heights. You have the same 24 hours each day as Carnegie, Ford, and Edison. The difference lies in how you use the first 30 minutes after waking. They use it to prepare their minds for success. Will you? The chains that have bound you to mediocrity are already loosening. Tomorrow morning you will speak the words that break them forever. As you prepare for sleep tonight, know you are about to embark on your greatest adventure, the journey from who you are to who you were meant to become. The universe is ready to answer your new commands. Your subconscious is primed for fresh programming. Your future success calls from the dawn ahead. Rise early, speak boldly, believe fully, act decisively. Persist relentlessly. This is the path of those who transform failure into triumph, poverty into wealth,
anonymity into greatness. You now know the secret. The only question that remains, will you use it? The decision you make in the next 24 hours will shape the rest of your life. Choose wisely. Choose courageously. Choose success. Begin tomorrow with the 11 phrases that will change your life forever. I have handed you the keys to the kingdom of achievement. Now the power lies with you.